Hello, everyone.
Hello.
It's me, Andrew.
And me, William, behind the camera.
We're here for Allegory Gallery for the great Bead Extravaganza. And we're super happy to be here. And thank you so much for tuning in. We really appreciate all of you out there. Without you, we could not be able to do what we're doing. So thank you so much for being a part of our community.
Yay!
We're kicking things off. So we only have an hour this time. So we're going to have to, cook with some gas. And really fry this project up. Otherwise, we're not going to be able to finish in time. And we have a very special announcement at the end, towards the end of our presentation. So be sure to stay tuned for that because we've got a lot of really fun things planned.
We do.
Exciting. And Babette, you can hear her behind. She's like, we do.
We do. She's excited too.
All right. So for today's project, we're going to be making these little books. Yeah, we are. Yeah. Babette's talking. All right. So one of the reasons why I kind of came up with this, besides the fact that I love little books, and
who doesn't love a little book?
I don't know. I know Babette. I love a book, a little book especially. But also, a couple years ago, I was teaching out at an event called Art Fest out in Port Townsend. And it's put on by Tisha and Tracy Moore, and they're wonderful people, amazing artists. And I had the pleasure of teaching there. And one of the things that we stumbled in on, me and Cynthia were teaching at the same time, and co-teaching, is there's this whole cafeteria, and there were all these people, and it was like 100 degrees in the room. There was a lot of energy, a lot of excitement. It was really cool. And I was like, what are they doing? Because they're all like doing something. It looked almost kind of illicit, like something was going on. And what they were doing is all the previous year beforehand, they were making artist trading cards. So if you're not familiar with what artist trading cards are, they're these great little pieces of whatever, but they're all sized almost like a baseball card so that you can trade them and swap them and get somebody else's artwork. So ever since then, I've been really interested in these because not only is it a way for you to share your artwork and to have a kind of a creative exchange, but it's also a small format. So if you do sell them, which they're called something else, it's a great way to have small artwork. For us, we don't really have a ton of extra money. So for our collection with our artwork, we enjoy collecting small pieces of artwork because, for one, we can afford it. And also because when we lived in New York City, we didn't have a ton of space to display the artwork. So these artist trading cards are super awesome. Even if you don't trade them and you just make them for yourself, they're a great format because they're small. Are there any questions so far?
No, just lots of good mornings, lots of people tuning in.
Oh, good. So that's part of how this came to be. The other part was, what are we going to do with all these really wonderful mask lanyards once the pandemic's over? I guess we could go and, if you saw the Goody Beads preview, you saw they had those little carabiner. I guess you could use that as your focal and kind of cinch your piece together. But I thought a really cool thing to do would be to use those mask lanyards in a way that you could then use that as the base of a necklace. So this is convenient. You can wear your work of art. It's convenient if you have to take it off, make some notes. If your piece is long enough, you can flip it around and draw right there directly onto your piece.
Built-in sketchbook.
Yeah.
Built right into your outfit.
Yeah, you don't even have to worry about it. And you can make them to match any outfit, which is really cool. Now, if you're like, I am not interested in this at all. Well, not awesome. I would say turn it off, but I don't want to do that. So what I am going to say is that even if you don't make what we're making today, a lot of the techniques that I'm going to be showing you are applicable for other jewelry making techniques and other mixed media techniques too. So if you wanted to scale this up, you could definitely make these larger. You can also make some of these techniques and utilize them for small components as well. So that's what we're going to do today. If you go to our website, that's allegorygallery.com, you'll be able to see our kit. Now, you don't have to buy this kit to make this project. If you do, it will make your life exponentially easier. And who doesn't like an easier life? I know, Babette. Who
She likes an easier life.
Easy life? I mean, your life isn't that hard, so I don't know what you're grumbling about. But I guess she has to put up with us. But she's like, it's Saturday morning, y'all.
She's
Keep
been up.
it down.
We got very early.
Keep it down, y'all. I'm trying to rest.
She didn't get her beauty sleep today.
Well, she's pretty enough, so that's okay. So, where was I?
Talking about the techniques are good for various things, even if they don't like the books.
Oh, and the kits.
And the
so
kits.
The kits are available online, and before you go and you buy it, if you are going to buy it, just know that like all the other great Bead Extravaganza events, we're having a little bit of a sale online. Tell them, William.
Use coupon code in the online store, Bead Extravaganza, for 15% off most everything in the store.
So people are like, what does most everything mean? If you notice, I'm wearing my carved amber bee. We just got these in. I don't know if you can see it or not. But these are super awesome. These are not on sale, unfortunately. And the reason why we can't put them on sale is because we don't put too much of a margin on these. We try to keep the price as low as possible because we realize they're not a cheap date. So we don't want to make them more expensive of a not cheap date. So we've kept our margins pretty slim on these, and unfortunately we can't discount any of our carved components that are in the online store. But I think almost everything else is, and you can save 15% using coupon code Bead Extravaganza. So if you head on over there, I believe this is, what, $8 for the 2 pieces and the rings.
And we put a link in the comments here.
Now these rings, if you're looking for them, they're called binder rings, and they come in all different sizes. These are the 1-inch rings, and I love them. We use these for all different kinds of things in the shop, usually the bigger ones. Usually I go to Bath and Body Works and I clear them out, and then the people are like, what y'all doing with so many rings? I'm like, none of your business, but art. But art. So I've called my collection and we've put these together. You get 2 of these little boards and you also get these 2 rings. So that kit is available online, allegorygallery.com. Make sure to take advantage of the Bead Extravaganza coupon. That coupon is valid for all week. So if you're like, hey, I'm going to go broke today, if I buy all the stuff today, that's okay. We're going to, you have all week to use that coupon code. All right. So once you get your little kit in the mail, you're like, what am I going to be doing with these? You know, they're cool, but what am I going to do with them? So let's flip it around and we'll talk about some stuff. Now, if you've watched any of the other presentations that I've done for the Great Bead Extravaganza, I've talked about this wonderful product. It's called Gesso. And it's really wonderful. This is a Liquitex basic acrylic. I love the golden, but I ran out of it because guess what? I use it
A lot.
So, this, if you don't have this, this is okay because this surface it's a draft board, so it's a porous surface and it will soak up other paints. Some of the other woods that we have, the plywoods, are not available or are not super great for soaking up paint, so you have to prep the surface. But that, I feel like if you put this undercoat on, this primer, you're going to be set up for success no matter what you do. All right, so I've got my lovely pristine palette. It's very high-tech and very fancy. And I'm going to pour this on. Now, using a clean brush that's soft bristled. Let's see. Am I in the, where's my sweet spot?
Right here.
My sweet spot.
Sweet
right
spot is
here.
like, yeah, in there.
So suck in my stomach and then work upside down. So you just want to make sure that you get nice even strokes. And you can kind of see that the foundation layer is not going to be very thick. You don't want to glob it on all at once because then you will get a kind of a rough texture. And we want a nice smooth foundation, or if you want to have it rough and be all kinds of ruffledy-buffledy, then you can do that if you want. But I'm going to show you this way to set you up for success. All right, so in theory, we'll let that dry off to the side. And the power of TV, we've got one already done, already dry. Whoa, look at that. So if you have a little bit of a texture, that's actually not a bad thing because that's called a tooth. And it's a texture that will help the other layers stick on top of that. But if you're like, I want that to be super smooth, just hit that with some sandpaper. This is a really coarse one. This is found in the automotive store. It's for a circular sander, but you can use regular sandpaper. I like wet, dry sandpaper for my purposes. And once we've got that all taken care of, we're going to use a damp cloth, or in this case, a high-tech paper towel. Get it slightly damp, not too moist, but not too dry, just right, and just wipe off the surface. And what that is doing is you're wiping off the dust, because then when you add that extra layer and there's dust, it's going to get crusty again. So we don't want to do that. Now, as you can see, I did all the brush strokes like this. I'm going to turn it on the side and add my brush strokes in the opposite direction. Now, one of the things you can also do if you're getting bored to tears is you can watch the other presentations, and I talk all about how to add color to our wooden pieces. And so that way, if you're interested in the salt technique that we talked about last time, or about all kinds, adding gold leaf, you can see that in those videos. So this is, we're applying a nice even coat, and we've got the surface all covered. Whoa, looks nice, huh? And if you miss a spot, oh well, it's fine. It's not the end of the world. But you can definitely see the difference between first coat and second coat. All right, so the next thing that we're gonna do is I'm going to show you a quick glitter tutorial. And I know that not everybody is a fan of glitter, but I like glitter if used appropriately. So one of the first things is to find a color that's going to give you a nice foundation. Most glitters, the emulsifier or the liquid part is usually transparent, so then you can see whatever's underneath, which if this was like a really beautiful surface would not be a problem, but right now it's just a gesso.
Suzanne's asking, how long does it take to dry and does humidity affect it?
Yes. So humidity is always a factor. If you don't know what humidity is, it's moisture in the air. And so if you're in a place like Suzanne in New Orleans, it's going to be super humid, so it's going to take longer to dry. But if you're in Arizona, in Tucson, your paint will dry immediately. So that's one thing that's good to keep in mind. Where I am, the humidity, depending on what season it is kind of mid-range. So I can leave paint open like this, but if you're in a place with low humidity and it gets hot, you know, you would actually have this covered up. You'd have your spritzer ready. You wouldn't be talking while you've got, you know, while you're trying to paint. You would just get to it.
A few other questions. Do you use embossing powders? Curious as to whether it would work or not.
They do work, and you can use that. It's a lovely product. We had an unboxing video, oh goodness, a few years ago, and our friend Laurel, she was doing the unboxing video with us. If we find the link to that, we'll drop it, but in the comments after. But Laurel, she showed us all how to use embossing powders, which was really nice.
And can you speed up drying using a blow dryer or heat gun?
You can. One thing to do when you're using a heat gun, always keep your heat gun moving. If you stop in one point and you get too close, guess what? It's going to actually take your paint off and not dry it. It's actually going to bubble the surface and make it easier to scrape off paint. That's golden paint. I love golden paint, but you can use all kinds of paint. Plaid makes a really good folk art paint, which is available at big box stores like Walmart. They also produce Glitterific, which is what we're going to be using for our glitter. Now this glitter is a chunky glitter, so you've got to keep that in mind, because you know, this is not gonna, it's not the kind that if you squeeze it out and it's all super fine and it's just gonna smooth on. You gotta get in there and scoop it out, or glob it on and scoop it out. Now, so you can see, maybe.
Yep. You can see good.
And so I'm actually gonna just pour a little bit out, and then use that and smear it all around. Make sure that you get it kind of evenly distributed, and that the flakes, if they're not sitting down, you can flatten them out with your brush tip. Now I've loosened up my glitter by adding a little bit of distilled water. Now you're going to say, why can't I just use whatever water I want? You can, but the thing with acrylics and stuff like that, if your water goes bad, who knew water can go bad? Your paints will smell like bunghole. So you don't want to do that. And one way of combating that, if you can't get distilled water, is to put a drop of ammonia, and that will help stem any kind of bacterial growth that will happen in your water. Otherwise, your studio is going to have strange stains, mysterious smells, and you're going to be like, where's my candle? Where's my Glade? Where's my air freshener? Get that Febreze out. I don't know why my studio smells. It could be because you have bacterial growth in your acrylic paints. So the more you know, right? All right. So basically, that's what we're going to do for that. Once this dries, I'll show it to you again at the end of the video. But the great thing about this is that once it's dry, you can paint on top of it. I really like the Glitterific. They've got all different shapes, colors, even different sizes of glitter. They have a fine glitter. There's also dragonfly mist. There's all kinds of fun things that you can do to build up sparkle and fun. Who doesn't want to build up sparkle and fun? All right, we're going to get down to the main event, which I'm going to do a switcheroo with William real quick with this piece, with the underlayer. Because this one is a little bit crunchy, and this one is a little bit smoother. We were going to use William's desk, but it's new, and I don't think he wants... he's not like me, where my studio furniture is not precious. So my studio furniture gets well loved and used and abused. So we're not going to mess up his desk. So we're using this fun folding table. All right, so we're going to do the faux porcelain technique. And that makes this. So you like this little book?
I love that little book.
Now say, oh, I don't want to make that little book. You know what? You can make it small, and then you can make a pendant. Guess what? You don't need a kiln for this. Looks like porcelain, doesn't it? Tricksy, huh? So this is a great way to get that look, but only need an oven. And if you look close, it even has the speckles in it, which is really fun. Now, if you're like, hey, whoa, slow down, I can't keep track of what you're saying. Tonight I'm going to post step-by-step instructions in the Great Bead Extravaganza group. So that way, if you like fall asleep or you gotta go to the bathroom and you can't hold it,
it happens to us all.
You can either watch the replay, which is bonus points, means I don't have to do as much work, or tonight you can check out the Great Bead Extravaganza Facebook page, and I'll post some step-by-step instructions.
So now, Marianne is asking, can this faux porcelain be applied to our wooden pendants?
In theory, yes. And this is designed, I originally designed this to be like a veneer that you could put and then glue onto your wooden pendants like that. But this is so that you can have a different option to make this little book. And you're gonna be like, why am I gonna buy the template if I'm gonna make my own little sheet? You're like, that doesn't make sense. But keep watching. You'll find out. You'll find out how that's useful. All right. So this is what one of the other techniques that we're going to do today. I think we're good on time. All right. So what am I doing? All right. So this is Primo. This is Primo White. I like Primo. I think it's got, it's a really good, versatile product. It's available. A little bit. And I like it. You can get that at most craft stores. You can order it online. It's usually really fresh. And we're going to use a little bit of granite.
Great.
He keeps moving it because I can't see what's happening, at least not well. So here you go. He's like,
Stay right at this border.
He's like, put it actually so people can see what you're doing.
Here, I'll bring it close.
All right. And we're also going to be using a little bit of Super Sculpey. And the Super Sculpey is this beige color. And people are like, why are you mixing? Why are you mixing? There's some people in the polymer clay community, and they would freak out if they saw me mixing. But you know what? This is my secret sauce recipe, and I can do whatever I want. So there's that. I think, and this is just from my experience. Now, if you go online and you can cause an internet war with Ginger over the blue bottle tree or whoever, don't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't say it. But Andrew said,
nope.
This is how I cook. This is my recipe. So you don't like how I cook, use somebody else's recipe. So I like to put that disclaimer in there because sometimes I'll show a technique and then they go, somebody else sees something somewhere else and they're like, but Andrew said, and then I have to go and talk to somebody and then they file a complaint and then it's sad times. So for me, one of the things that I like to do, and I'm just going to cut off a piece. I'm using a tissue blade, which this side is very, very sharp, so don't cut yourself.
Extremely sharp.
Don't cut your neighbor, don't cut teacher, don't cut yourself. Just be in mind. Sometimes what I'll do, if I'm super worried or if I'm teaching, I'll put a piece of washi tape at the top, or I'll write, I'll put top and then put arrows to it. So that way people don't accidentally pick it up and then chop off a finger. I've seen it happen, not in my classes, because I give that horror story, that visual that will cause the visceral reaction of not doing that.
Our friend Ann Schroeder said she learned that the hard way.
Well, Ann Schroeder, then you know. Don't chop off your fingerprints. You don't need to run from the law. You're good. All right, so here we go. You're going to use your tissue blade, and you're going to cut some off. And then what you're going to do is you're going to use your white, your Super Sculpey, and this is granite. This is an accent color. And the reason why I put a little bit of this granite is because I have cats. And I don't work in a lab-like studio. It's kind of messy and dirty. I'd like to pretend that I'm like Marie Kondo of the craft world. I have super pristine minimalism. But as you can see from here, that's not the reality of that. So understanding that I'm slightly nasty, I have embraced that, and I'm going to put just a little bit of this granite clay into my mix. And what this is, it's got little particles mixed in, and when you mix this into the clay, it's going to, if you've got any kind of little fuzz balls or anything, it's going to look like you did that on purpose. So that way, it will look like, it'll look like you did that on purpose. So basically, it depends on also if you are going through the change of life or you've got really hot hands, but you'll be able to condition your clay a lot faster. Because this is the internet, we're pretending like we're on TV, I've already conditioned some clay. Whoa.
What happened?
Whoa.
It's magic.
And so basically you just knead this, or you cut it down into smaller pieces and run it through your pasta machine, fold it, run it through your pasta machine, fold it. But since I don't really want to take up my time in my demo, I've preconditioned this clay. So you got a nice white surface. You can tell that your clay is completely conditioned because guess what? It's all white. It's all white. You don't see any streaks of this beige. And if you see those little crusties from the granite, that's okay, because that's on purpose. All right, do we have any questions?
Not really. Just to people talking about their creativity doesn't flourish in a pristine studio, and people saying, "What, cat for accents aren't your jam?"
So I do. That is my jam. But you know
Totally our jam.
So, sometimes other people who don't have cats, they're like, "What? Why is your piece fuzzy?"
Marianne, one, would she say, oh, everyone, it's scrolling so fast. One advantage to menopause.
Yes,
you can do your
you got
clay.
hot hands. You can condition that clay fast. All right. So, there you go. Who knew? All right. So you're going to condition this clay until it's all the way smooth. Another way you can make sure that your clay is completely conditioned is when you roll this into the pasta machine, you're going to get a nice smooth edge. If it's all ruffledy-buffledy and really chunky, then you're going to need to, and if you didn't see what I just did, is I extracted a cat hair from the clay, because sometimes if you don't, it'll cause air pockets and it can weaken your piece. So that's one thing. You'd think it'd be like rebarb and like reinforce your piece, but in reality, it doesn't work like that.
Mira's asking, what does the Super Sculpty do?
It's a harder clay, so it makes your, this is a more flexible clay. So some people like it because then you can like bend your pieces. I like my pieces not to bend. I like there to be a little bit more rigid. So that's why I add the Super Sculpey. Now, if it, you know, it does make it harder, but if you really try, you could crack this in half. But I'm not going to do this because I actually like this piece. So that is something to keep in mind if you're worried about that. Now, another option is if you're really worried about this being really structural, guess what? You've got this. Just roll your pieces, your sheet out finer, and then you can glue this on to your backing board, and you'll be good to go. Now, pretend like I'm rolled this out. I roll this out, and presto! Whoa!
Whoa!
I made this sheet of my polymer clay.
It's magic, you know.
The power of fake TV. And guess what? I have to go grab something really fast.
Oh no, the magic wore out.
I know.
Only so much magic this morning.
And the reason why is because I was afraid to balance this on to my teetering pile. And you're like, what the heck is that? It's cornstarch and a little bit of mica powder. And so this is how we keep stuff from not sticking. We're going to be flouring our piece. So we need a really soft brush. And you can tell I've used this for this project because it's like powdery. Now, don't snort your cornstarch. I know sometimes it might be tempting, but if you're going to breathe into it, whenever there's particulates, I always suggest having a well-ventilated area. Even though this is cornstarch with a little bit of mica powder, open a window, make sure there's easy airflow. You'll be great.
Someone is asking if they want to adhere it to the wood, is there a best or specific glue or adhesive that would work between the two?
It just depends. You can use all kinds of glues. E6000 works really well. You can also use Loctite glue for smaller pieces. There's all different kinds and depends on how you're gonna use your structural pieces. You can even use hot glue, that's really good. But E6000 is probably the best for this application. All right, so our friend Christy Friesen she's super cool. Another presenter of the Great Bead Extravaganza. She came up with these really fun texture sheets. See her name, Christy Friesen. She's got all different kinds. If you go to her website, you can see the different texture sheets that she has available. So what you're going to do is you're going to get some of this cornstarch onto your brush and then just work it into the surface. Brush it on, get it in there, good. And then once you've got enough on there, tap it down back into your bowl to get the excess out. We're also going to take a little bit of this, and this is just a piece of plastic roller. They have special rollers that you can get that are a little bit, you know, they're designed to be non-stick, but this is just a piece of acrylic. And what we're going to do is we're going to take this. If you're really worried about it sticking, you can always brush the surface of your clay. Of course, if you do that, you might get hairs, so be mindful of that. Press this down. Now, here's where the templates come in handy. These guys here. You can put them on either side of your texture sheet, and then you will make sure that you will not go below that texture sheet. Or your texture sheet will, when your polymer clay will be the thickness of your piece, your templates. Now, if you don't have these, you can use playing cards, and that's the old school polymer clay technique of adjusting the size. So you roll this out. You just want to do it one time, because if you don't, you can have ghosting. So here is your texture, and since this is white, you may not be able to see it very well, and I actually didn't do it as hard as I could have, but I'm not going to try to retexturize this, and since this is since we're running out of time, I'm not going to redo it. Now you're going to want to put down a surface that's not going to get cut up, or you don't care if you're going to cut up your piece or the underneath piece. You're going to use this as your template, and then you're going to get that handy dandy tissue blade. Remember, this is the blade side, this is the non-blade side. We're going to cut the clay with the blade, not our fingers, and just trim. So easy. Whoa. Now you're gonna be like, what's happening? What's happening? So I have this handy dandy awl tool. It's really cool. And you just go and you find those holes, those template holes, and you just go like this and you run it around and you make a hole indentation. All right. So this is not perfect, and that's okay. So here you go. This piece, you put it in the oven, you cure it for 30 minutes at 275 Fahrenheit in your oven. If you're worried about off-gassing, make a little aluminum foil tent, and you will be good to go. And then by the power of TV, ta-da! Ta-da! It's cooked. And you'd be like, that looks a little bit busted. You're like, was he drunk when he did that? No. So these holes, not ideal, right? They're like, what are you going to fit in there? Get your X-Acto knife. Be careful. Remember, sharp. Put it in there and just twist it around. That will help open up your holes and make sure that they are nice and open and the right size. This is helpful if you make a hole in your polymer projects and it needs to be enlarged. The next thing we're going to do is we have sandpaper. We're going to bust that sandpaper out. And we're just going to lightly go over the edges so that we have nice edges. And if you want this to be super flat, because you can see this is, when I cut it, it got kind of a little wavy gravy. Just put it on a flat surface and go back and forth like so. Try not to hook it on them holes. And there you go. You're getting a super flat side. Now, because it's a tile, it's supposed to look like an old tile. Most old tiles are beveled. So you're just going to go around your edges and lightly hit those edges so that there's a bevel on them. All right, so we've got our piece. We're going to get our slightly damp cloth, aka paper towel, that I didn't spit on it, I promise. All right, and now if you have any little crusties, now's the time. And then we're going to be getting the fun part. All of this is the fun part, right? All right.
I'm having fun watching.
So this is a clear liquid polymer clay. This is Donna Cato's brand. And if you spill this on your carpet, you're gonna be sad because this never dries. It's super sticky, and you should be aware of this because it's sticky. So, but it's delightful because it really, when you bake this and you cure it in your oven, it will really get nice and translucent and get that nice shiny faux porcelain effect. So you're going to squeeze this in your cup, and a little goes a long way. And so the next thing you're going to do is get your chalk pastels. Whoa.
Ooh.
Now this is one of
Colors.
my secret techniques.
Colors.
Secret techniques. This is your rainbow of colors. This is your palette, and with these you can make almost any color. We're also going to need our X-Acto knife friend, and we're going to take our chalk pastels and lightly scrape off some of these into our mix, or into our polymer clay, or liquid polymer clay. Now it's tempting to load this up with a ton of pigment. The issue is that if you add too much pigment, it becomes opaque, and we want this to be nice and clear. Now I have seen tutorials online where people will use a drop of alcohol ink. Alcohol inks are super great. I love the effects, but guess what, folks? They're not archival. So I no longer use my alcohol inks in these projects, because if you put this in a sunny window, then your piece will no longer be that color. It will start to bleach. All right, so once you have this, mix it real good. Mix it real good. And if you really are particular about the little speckles in the liquid polymer, you can put this on a piece of, you can make your shavings on a tile and then go back over and grind them down finer. I like the little speckles in the finished project because it looks like a real tile then. All right, here's the messy part. So make sure that you have lots of paper towels at your disposal, and you can mix up different colors, which by the power of TV or Facebook Live, I've pre-mixed these colors, and you can take and use your fanciest tool, your finger, to do
One of the few
work.
times you allow fingers to be used as tools.
Yeah, well, you use it. I use fingers all the time. It's teeth that I don't really. I said teeth aren't tools because guess what? I've seen people chip off it, and you just massage this delicately into the surface of your piece, and you get to that edge. You just scrape that right off. It's like you're frosting a cookie.
Now, someone had a question: if you use alcohol inks, can you glaze over them to prevent them from fading?
In theory, you could try. There are UV products. However, if we know that a product is not color stable, then just roll with it. Use something else. And then you can get 2 colors, and then you can do like an ombre.
Getting fancy.
Whoa. And then once you've covered this completely, and there's no pieces, you stick this in the oven, and you make sure you're clean as you go, because if you go and you go in to wipe the shine off your nose, it's going to be a different kind of effect, and you're going to be a little bit something different, colorful. It's going to look different.
Cindy's asking, can you use mica powders in the liquid clay?
You can. It's just that these are concentrated pigment, and so mica powders, it will look more dispersed. It will look almost like a shampoo, and this looks more like a stain, and it will stain the clay and look more like a finished, like a ceramic tile, than if you use other stuff. Now, I encourage you to experiment and explore. You can do all kinds of different things. You're going to put this in the oven. This is going to cure the same as your piece. So when you put this in the oven for 275, you can ramp it up to 300 if you really want to, but I kind of like to follow the instructions on the bottle so that I don't get the brain cancer when it, gets super fumey.
Don't do that.
All right, so we have about 13 minutes left. So once you put this in the oven, it cures, and you've got this. And then William is going to show you how to mark the hole, punch the hole, and put the books together.
Okay.
Here you go.
Let's take a look.
And
okay.
I'll start cleaning up.
So we have the artist trading cards here. And someone was asking if we have these. We don't have these in the store at the moment.
We used to.
We used to, but we do not have them now. So artist trading cards come in one size, right? You have the great size here. That's the same size that you're going to get if you purchase our kit, which we are dropping links to. And it is super simple once you want to put this together. So the easiest thing to do is to fit these together. And you are going to just use your trusty pen or pencil. And I'm going to move this down. There we go. I'm just making sure that these are even. And you are just going to go in here, if I can see around my phone, and mark. Hopefully this pen is marking. Nope. Let me get my pencil.
He stole my pencil, y'all.
I stole it because I knew I was going to need it. There, that'll mark it. Sometimes pencils are better for things, right? Not a lot of people use pencils anymore, but...
I love pencils.
So there you have your marks. Super duper easy, right?
This is called a crocodile.
Look at this monster.
There's all kinds of stuff.
Great. So we're going to use, that's the large hole. We're going to use the small hole. And you could use a smaller hole punch for this too, if you don't have this giant monster in your arsenal.
It's wonderful because you can do rivets with it or eyelets.
Yeah, look how well you can see in there, and really make sure you're centered and get on that. And then all you're going to do is these are going to line right up for you. See that? Pretty much perfect. Look at that. Perfect. So you're also going to get these in the kit on our online store. So it's super simple. You have the backing. So this is just going to go through here. And you're going to do one, and then you're going to open the other, and you're going to go through the other one. And then what I do, let's see if I can, it's hard to see around my phone.
You're doing great, William.
So what I like to do is I put the cover then on the other side, because that tends to make it easier to work with. So we just drop the cover on here, and then you pull the rings together. And you're just going to seal the rings, and then you have your little book. And these rings, they're a 1-inch ring, so you can get a number of sheets in there. You could also get larger rings if you wanted to add more sheets. But we've done about, about 10 or so artist trading cards inside, 8 to 10, and it's still super easy to flip through and use.
Now, if you don't have the artist trading cards, you can also, these are 2.5 by 3.5, and you can cut your own out of whatever kind of paper you want. You can also make a piece that's double this size, and then just fold your piece of paper over and follow the instructions like William said, and you'll have little booklet, little leaves of your pieces.
People are asking if you can use cardstock, watercolor paper. You can use all of that if you want to.
Now this is a piece that I started that's going to eventually be the cover of one of these books, and this is just canvas that I've been bead embroidering. I did a project for the beaded square project for the Museum of Beadwork up in Portland, Maine. And so now I'm hooked, and I was like, I'm going to finish this in time. I'm going to show them how to glue this on. But guess what? We're running out of time. So we're going to move on to our special announcement.
Dun, 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 dun. Let me tilt the camera down here a little bit more so we can get a little bit more, on focus here. And so, big announcement. If you are part of our Allegory Gallery Design Challenge group, then we do a lot of different kits throughout the years. We've done many kits. And we have today, not 1, not 2, not 5, but 7 kits that we are releasing into the online store. They are in the online store now. 7 different kits. This kit grouping is actually a competition.
Hooray!
Hooray!
The last time we did a competition was 5 years ago.
Yes, many years ago. So we are doing an actual competition. So you can choose. Let me just show you the kits really quickly here. So in each kit, you're going to get this 2x3 bag of luxury bead blend that Andrew puts together. You will get a strand of crystal. Look at that one. Ooh, I love this one. That's why I picked it to go first. A strand of fire polished check glass. And one of our wooden cutout pendants that we make. Andrew does the design and we make on our laser. So each kit includes all of that. And each kit is only priced at $18. And you can use the Bead Extravaganza coupon to get 15% off these kits. Now, each kit is called a house. So you can choose which houses you belong to by purchasing the various kits.
And you can be in more than one house, too.
Yes, you can be in all 7 houses if you want to by purchasing one of each. And as I'm talking here, I'm going to try and just continue showing you some of these lovely, lovely kits. Now, whenever you choose the houses that you are going to be in by purchasing those kits, ooh, look at that sparkle. Then what we're going to do is we have deadlines, and you can see all the deadlines on the descriptions on the website. I'm not going to go over all the dates because we are running very low on time, but you can create, just like our other kits, you create whatever you want to, and we will have a reveal date. And on that reveal date, everyone takes and you choose one of your creations. Choose one of your creations from each kit that you purchase and put it in the album that will be in the Allegory Gallery Design Challenge group. So if you are in the House of the Fallen Petal, which is this one right here, there will be a album for that house in the Allegory Gallery Design Challenge group. And there's a link to that group also in the blog post for this and the descriptions. You pick your favorite thing you made using this kit, and yes, you can add your own components to it too. You don't have to use just the kit. And
you
then
should take advantage of it.
Yes, absolutely. So you post your favorite item that you've made using the kit, and then everyone in the house, whoever else bought that kit, gets to vote. You cannot vote for your own, though. So this is a friendly competition. You have to vote for someone else. And the winner of those, there is one winner per each house. So 7 winners on that will get a prize. How about that? And that prize is going to be a $25 gift certificate to us here at Allegory Gallery. Plus, we'll have a special kit that we're making up and we'll send out to you.
The winner kit.
The winner kit. And then, after all that, then out of those winners, we will open it to participants' choice. No, this is actually popular choice. And so anybody, whether you have a kit or not, can come in and vote on their favorites.
We have over 5,000 people in our Facebook group, and they will be able to vote on their favorites.
Absolutely. So on their favorites, once those favorites are tallied, that winner of the ultimate favorite gets to get a $100 gift card to Allegory Gallery.
Whoa.
Whoa. And then...
They're giving money away.
And then...
But wait.
Wait. There's more. And then we at Allegory Gallery will pick our very favorite piece, and the winner of that, of Judge's Choice, also gets a $100 gift card to Allegory Gallery.
Whoa.
How crazy is that?
Now, if you're a scaredy cat and you don't want to submit and you don't want to be in the competition, you can still buy these, and that's okay.
You can still buy. You don't have to play.
If you're really tricksy, you buy all 24 of them, and then you can be the only winner.
The only winner. The only winner in your house.
To get that $100 gift certificate.
Well, that's a 25.
To get that $25 gift certificate, you got to spend about $300 or $400, and you will be the winner.
So you can see all of those. I just showed them to you quickly because we are running out of time. We got to get ready for candy coming up soon. But you can see them all in the online store. At the very top of allegorygallery.com, there is a TGBE section. And you can see all of the kits there. You can also purchase the book pendant kit if you would like to do that as well. And further instructions, all the instructions for, the competition and how it works are in the description for each kit as well.
Whoa.
Whoa.
We finished early, William.
By like 2 minutes. I'm sure we could come up with something. Barnaby might have something to say.
What do you have to say, Barnaby?
Do you have anything to say, Barn?
Anything to add? He's like, be quiet now.
He's like, now he's going to be quiet.
This got all wingle-wangled up.
Wingle-wangled up.
All right, turn it back on me, William.
Okay.
So in our final minute presentation time, I just wanted to say thank you again to all of you who are watching, who will watch the replay, who are a part of this amazing community. We really do appreciate all of you and all of the support you've shown to us as a business and to the other amazing presenters. I wanted to quickly say thank you to Sarah, to Kristen, to Nile, to Kate, to all of the other presenters who have helped put this on and make it what it is today. So I think that's it. Are we done?
We're done.
We're done. Bye.
Bye, everybody. Thank you so much, and stay tuned for candy.